My name is Judat, in case you don't know. It's actually the first time that I am showing up in live on, oh no, it's the second time. It's the second time. But what I'm doing is that I'm showing up here every single Monday in the service of you, my YouTube followers. I usually show up on another platform, Facebook. And so it is like so much fun to show up here on a Monday. I want to continue these conversations. So before I go any further, I wanted to introduce myself a little bit. My name is Judat, and I run a digital business. And so I am used to talking about social media and also executing social media campaigns for clients. And I decided about a year ago to really sort of zero in on YouTube. And since then, since last year, November, I have gotten to be a little bit more serious. And part of being serious about this platform is really committing to showing up twice a week. So the content that you will receive from me will center around entrepreneurship, success coaching, and a bit of lifestyle. But of course, my favorite topic is social media, and that's what I wanted to talk about today. So welcome to Q&A Monday. That's what we're going to call it. So it's a question and answer Monday. And as I get more followers and more fans, and hopefully people are tuning in as time goes by, that I hope that we will be able to have a thriving community where we are showing up for each other, we're speaking up, we're clapping up each other's successes, as well as giving up of our time and our energy to be here on Monday with me. So today's conversation is really inspired by something that J.K. Rowling, the writer, the famous author, said. And she wrote an op-ed page in The Guardian. I think it was the British Guardian. And she was really coming down hard on social media coaches and life coaches who were telling people that they needed to be upping their game and they needed to be switched on and action oriented, and they really needed to be working hard during this period. And she was really coming down hard and saying that how people who wanted to relax should not feel pressured to be doing something. And I so agree with her in one direction. I also have to go back to when J.K. Rowling was not a billion-dollar writer and a successful writer, and how she used to talk about sitting in a coffee shop. And she had at that time a young daughter, and she would just be working extremely hard because she understood what her vision was. And so when I think about people who want to Netflix and chill, and let me know in the comment box if you agree or not. People who want to Netflix and chill and who want to create time for their families, and time, because time is a luxury that not many of us had pre-pandemic and pre-coronavirus. It was almost as if we were hamsters on a treadmill, just going through and round and round and round and round, going from one thing to the other without savoring life. And I believe that if this period allows people to savor life, then they should feel completely legitimate about how they feel. At the same time, if you are a small business owner, and I'm sure many of you are influencers or on your hustle, and you see this as a moment to restructure and re-strategize, or even build a website if you didn't have any, or even like work hard just so you can save your business. Like, let's be real, closing doors, not having contracts, not having work flow in. And even though some of us have been really diligent about saving and putting aside for a rainy day, like, how long is this rainy day going to last? And so I believe that if you are, on the other hand, on your hustle and on your grind and churning out work and doing what is necessary, then that too is perfectly fine. And can't we all just get along without sort of like pitting one group against the other? The reality is that we all own and occupy very unique and special places in our lives, and we have to do what's best for us. And that's my rant for today. I wanted to to, oh, let me just check my mic. Yeah. So I just wanted to say that because I was, pretty disturbed by the conversation that I was seeing on that specific thread. We are in a situation where we are in this together, and however we show up on our feeds, in our lives, in our businesses with each other is completely unique to who we are. And I came across this quote that I loved. I really love this. And I thought it was so applicable for today's times. If you know where this quote is coming from, like, please let me know. So it says, bad chapters can create great stories. And I really take that to heart because I think that this too will pass. And wrong paths can still lead to right places, and failed dreams can still create successful people. Sometimes it takes losing yourself to find yourself. And I thought that last line, sometimes it takes losing yourself, whether it's in your family, with your love or lover, with your work, in order to come out on the other side in a way that makes sense to you. And talking about making sense, I wanted to share with you something that I have on right now on our website, forward40.com, or even if you go to our blog, forward40.com / blog, you would find a bunch of free resources. And I used the Business Reset Guide when I was thinking of 2020 and how I wanted to show up in 2020 and what I wanted my digital firm to be like. And I did all the planning in September, October, and I began execution in late October, just doing the grind. And the first quarter of 2020 was extremely successful for us, for our firm, for me. And then boom, coronavirus, right? And all contracts are postponed or canceled. And I went back to this Business Reset Guide that I created because I felt that I had to update it for this period, COVID-19, and what our business would look like post-COVID-19. Also, on the free resources section of our website, forward40.com, is the social media planners. Most of you know I would have created a social media planner, which is a physical book that has 12 months of planning. But I also created 12 individual PDF planners. And I am offering the social media planner April version free of charge, no cost attached. It's a freebie because I so wanted, as boss babes, female entrepreneurs, people who are just thinking of what this month is going to be like for them, this month, next month, and the following month. Because let's be real, countries and cities are now reaching their apex point. Some are reaching them in 7 days, the next 2 weeks. We are not out of this in any time soon. And so it's really important that we think about how we can show up. And that's why I created these two resources. And you can either go to forward40.com or you can email me, and the link is right there on your screen. I was thinking about dreams and all the plans. I was going to Portugal, and I bet you were too. Did you have any plans? Like when you were thinking of 2020 and it being this big year where things would finally materialize for you, were you thinking, what was the one big thing that you saw would happen in the first quarter? So for me, it wasn't in the first quarter, but I had plans in the second quarter to head to Portugal for my first 6-week workation. So I was going to work in Portugal on my digital business, and I was also going to have a great cultural experience. And that is no longer, that's a dream that has to be deferred. But I also know that when we are thinking of a dream, it has to be seen in the context of having a vision. And no matter what our circumstances, we really have to breathe and dream and work the vision. And that's what really is required, because really we have no other choice. We have no other choice but to put like the grease on, our parents used to say, put the grease on your elbows and get to it. We have no other choice now. And I know for a fact, having been in business for a long time, that the best way out of anything is to go through it. And when you go through it, it really means that you have to shut out all the noises and get rid of all the negative conversations that are happening. And if that means switching off TV for a while, or getting off social media for a while, or reading those established websites that has the information, and then doing whatever feels good for your soul, that working through something is the way to get out of something. So working through something as a small business owner, I grappled for the past 3 weeks of how do I handle this vicious downturn in my business. And I really had to come up with a strategy, hence the Business Reset Guide, of working through it. And I hope that makes sense. And for me, I came across, I was doing a lot of reading, a lot of introspection. And for me, really, it is really about increasing value in this downtime. And for you, what that really means is improving systems, improving skills, improving strategies, improving the things where you saw the systems, the workflows, payroll, your website, just looking at areas where it can be better in your business. Not only within your business, but also within yourself, that you too can be a better leader. And what areas of your own leadership do you need to have some kind of introspective thinking and working through, in order that when this is over, you are now a more focused leader. And so it really requires a deep focus on what it is that you want to achieve. And so by focus, if you could think for a minute of what that means within the context of small business and within the context of using social media to promote your businesses and to show up for your followers and your fans. What it really means is you have to lead conversations and be visible. I was reading a statistic put out by Facebook, and they were saying that three times the amount of people that are on social media now, it's just 3 times greater than it was before. And you get that. People have time on their hands. So what they're going to do is, yes, connect with their family, but they're also going to be on their digital devices. And so as a small business owner, and I'm addressing small business owners now, because there is no one group that's greater impacted. If you think about, and you switch on BBC and CNN and wherever you're catching your news, if you think about the restaurant industry and the food industry and what's happening to manufacturers and how they are going through everything, and some are medium-sized businesses, forget small businesses, right? And so what we have to do is to be visible. And so I get it. You want to know, like, how can I show up and what should I post? And I think that you can post inspirational content. You can post what it is behind the scenes when you are working from the office and your children are like doing homework or going through the rigors with their teachers, or being loud and you're at your dining table and it's hard if you haven't worked from home to focus, you miss work. Show up and say that and be an inspiration to your tribe and to your followers. You can also be matter of fact. You can do lives. This is a great time. And I have so many posts and vlogs and videos right here on YouTube where there's even I can link it, where or I'll put it in the description box below, where I talk about how you can do lives, and I go through how you can be confident in front of the camera, and I'll put that, as I said, in the description box below when I'm finished with this live. And so this is a perfect time to be doing Facebook Lives and to be showing up and to let people know more now than ever who you are, because don't forget, when people know you, like you, and trust you, that is when they buy from you. And so building trust within this period by simply showing up and leading conversations and being visible is an extremely important way to just get traction. You know, like you're on a highway and you start slow and you start to put your foot down on the pedal and it's all an open freeway. Consider this all an open freeway and you are driving your business on that freeway. And so it's really, really crucial that you use this time to update your material. And so if your bios are neglected or have been neglected, or if you have a website that has not been updated and really is just sort of like just there, just doing nothing, now is the time to update your material and make sure that all the information is relevant, time-based, contextual, and important for the now. And important too for the future, because you are building for the future right where you stand now in the present. And so I want to talk about two types of businesses. I am a service and both product-based business because I sell digital products, social media planner, the PDFs. We're coming out with an ebook, how to get to your first 5,000 subscribers. Believe me, I know how, because I was at 400 on around Christmas time, and 3-4 months later, I'm now at 3,300. And so I wanted to create this book about, because I know many of small YouTubers who can't get past 100 subscribers really want to know how. So I created this sort of ebook, an instructional ebook that's also quite fun to read. And so because I know the product side of the business, but I'm also offering service and digital services to clients, I also know from the service side of things. So I put together these couple of tips to help you kind of think about what you should be doing right now at this minute. So let's say you have some kind of, I don't know, let's say it's a clothing store and you have a clothing store. Why not create gift cards and promote those gift cards online? So by that I mean, you know, it's so easy to create all sorts of free templates to create free gift cards. You know, Mother's Day is coming up. People are still buying gifts. Birthdays still happen. And so it's pretty cool to have a gift card that resides online and that people can use either now, if you have an online shop, or they can redeem it at a later date. I always say that you have to speak your truth. You have to tell people what you need. You have to tell people how they can support you. And by creating a gift card or even curating an online pop-up shop, what you are doing and talking about it and communicating what your needs are, what you're doing is not only showing up, you're guiding people as to how they can be of support to you. And of course, because I believe in the laws of reciprocity, you also have to be of support to others. This is so important in the whole world of social media. You know, also use this time to create email lists and funnel marketing approaches to your business. So I gave out, and as I told you before, I gave out a ton of freebies over the last couple of weeks. And one of the reasons why I wanted to give a freebie was because I wanted to help and I wanted to be of service to my followers and tribe. But I also thought it would be a great time to build my email database. And so how this works is if you want the freebie, you would have to kindly subscribe to my to Forward 40. And that allows me to communicate with you and give you more freebies and give you more value through and directly in your inbox. And so this is a great time to think about what it is that you can provide that will allow you to connect with your audience in a really authentic and meaningful way, and at the same time bring you something that's of value that you in turn can give back to the people who subscribe to your mailing list. And I hope that makes sense, you know. We talked about showing up behind the scenes and doing videos and doing lives and communicating. Now is the time, if you have a product, to show us how it's made, to show us if you brought your tools home, to tell us what that process is like. If you have a clothing store and you have pieces of your clothing or at home, then show us and tell us and style it. Be there with content and show up. And so if you are a service-based business, as I said before, updating your material is just about perfect at this time. Understanding where your workflows are, how your systems and structures are not aligned, where the gaps are, and creating processes and structures and systems in place. Also working on things like your email templates and your pricing guides, and just making sure that when we get back to some kind of normalcy, that you are creating like epic experiences for your clients. It's always about adding value. And the best piece of advice I can give is don't be so busy falling in love with your product or your service as it relates to you and what you can do and what you can offer. Because when you think introspectively and don't think about the value and what you can bring to your customer, then you're already in a losing battle when it comes to this pandemic. You always have to think about, how can I add value to the people that follow me? And then you have to show up in conversations. And then you have to show up on social media and on the platforms. And you have to make sure that you're delivering content that engages. And you have to not care about what people will say and what people will think about you showing up. And you have to get over the fear that you're not enough, or that you're not valuable enough, or you're not thin enough, or you're not dark enough, or white enough, or skinny enough, that you're not enough, period. You have to get over that negative narrative in your head and just, for heaven's sake, show up. Because the people who follow you, even if you have just one, they came on your platform because you informed them or educated them or provided humor or inspired them. Whatever it is, they showed up for you. And so you have to show up for them. And so I hope this little chit chat that we had inspired you to do something, to take action, to stand out in a way that's meaningful. Whatever it is that you're doing right now, to find solace or to take action, know that your reality is real and unique and you are occupying an individual space. But if you are on the hustle, know that there are people waiting to be inspired by the work that you do, that you continue to do, even though we are on pause. Okay, so please like this channel. I have to get used to saying that. If this content is valuable to you at all, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to add a comment or two. Comments are what gives me the impetus to keep going and keep creating content both on social media, entrepreneurship, and lifestyle. And I am deeply grateful for every single person that showed up and subscribed. Thank you so much, and see you Sunday with lifestyle content, and then next week Monday with Q&A Monday made for YouTube. Okay, bye. Take care.